And welcome back. This is one of those times when you must be politically correct, and that is these are called balisongs. Even though you see butterfly knife all throughout ads, they are balisong. Balisong and butterfly knife are completely different items altogether. Anyways, so balisongs. The real ones used to be legal here in Canada. Then they passed a law, put them under the gravity opening law thing, saying, now they're illegal because they're a gravity opening knife. They're a flippin' tool, for crying out loud. Balisongs were never intended to get into the martial arts world. This is a Filipino thing, and they're tools. They're knives for one-handed opening quickly when you need to, be able to have access to your knife and for whatever purpose, and you could open them quickly. They were not part of the martial arts stuff, okay? The only word I can come up with. Anyways, they did become part of martial arts, and in the right hands, yes, they could be considered to be pretty dangerous, okay? But on the other hand, you never take a knife to a gunfight either, so you know what I mean? But they are illegal now in Canada, but if you did own a butterfly or balisong, real balisong knife, back when they were legal, when that law was changed over, you could have grandfathered your knives in and had no problem with being able to legally possess them, okay? But nowadays in Canada, things change all the time, right? Maybe we'll get them back someday, who knows? I doubt it. But in the meantime, we are definitely allowed, no problems, to have balisong trainers, okay? These are not considered a threat in any way or dangerous in any way, so they allow us to have them, and that's perfectly fine, okay? So from there, do as you choose to. What I want to talk to you today is about what to know before you buy them, which is definitely that. They're perfectly legal if they're a trainer, okay? Now, they come in different forms, different materials, different locking systems, no locking systems. It's kind of up to you. I prefer a locking system myself. I like to have it locked and securely locked, which is why I tend to lean more toward not only an all-steel trainer, but also one that has this spring-loaded latch system, which is also a steel pin. And the way these things are designed, they compress together really tight so that they stay positively locked. So all you have to do to unlock it is squeeze the two handles together, the pin releases, stays out straight, and it stays out of your freaking way when you're flipping, okay? Which is great. And they do come with nice cases too, for nylon case. Now, the ones that I tend to shy from more so, and would not be as heavily recommended on, would be with this kind of a locking latch, where whether it's thin like this or very thick, I have a very thick latch on my flipper comb that's like this, and I've flipped that comb a lot, and that latch has been gulled because it's cheap pot metal. It's not spring-loaded in any way, so it gets in your way a lot of times when you're flipping and trying to do tricks, and it causes a lot of, well, misses on your tricks because it's in the way. But yeah, it's not the best locking system, but you can always remove it if you don't want it there, and you know, type of thing. But I do appreciate the other ones much better. Now, the other thing is looking at the build quality of these things. I won't buy anything that's made with aluminum handles, for example. It's just trouble waiting to happen down the line. It's very expensive flipper, although it looks really nice. It does have very squared off edges on the handles, which makes it hard to spin them properly for doing rotating tricks. But I'm not saying it can't be done. You're gonna have to figure out how to work around it. But I think it's a little overpriced for what we're getting here. Okay, it is quality built. They used a lot of quality parts. They've hopefully thought ahead enough in the box to not interfere with wear and tear on the aluminum handles, but I highly doubt that that's the case. I'm thinking we're going to have some future problems with this balisong, okay? This has an aluminum blade. not a very good idea, okay? Very bad idea. In fact, you drop that thing once, it hits the right way, and yep, you're gonna bend it, okay? Also, it's a mixture of aluminum and either plastic or some other composite material here. They say the handle is G10. It's lighter, more comfortable, and abrasion resistant, and the clip's gonna get in your way. That's the problem. The belt clip gets in your way. Why not just get rid of the clip and give us a freaking case? That would be practical, right? Agreed? Okay. Anyways, so there's a lot of different ones. I have not yet bought this one, but I'm going to, because I've been eyeing this style of a flipper handle for a long time. And I'm like, well, since I'm going to be buying these things again to do a bunch of videos for you guys, but also add to my collection of trainers, I want this style. I want to try one of these out. And if it flips really good, I'll buy a second one, and then I can do two at once. And then they're properly balanced in the wrist for the shapes and sizes and all that jazz. But yeah, there's some really interesting ones here. The prices are pretty good. This is one of those times where you can actually spend a little less and get more for your money, right? Like, I would put out $20 all day long on this without even thinking about it. Now, I know the paint is going to chip and stuff over time. That's part of the deal of the kind of finish they put on there, right? But I'd rather spend $20 on an all steel construction and very functional with a good locking latch too, than to spend $88 on this turd. You know what I mean? It just kind of makes sense. I know it looks beautiful. It was beautifully finished, but looks are not everything, okay? Functionality, on the other hand, does kind of trump the looks, okay? Because this looks pretty, but it's the durability I'm concerned with the aluminum on it, okay? Now, they do give you some real good, like, up close, you know, this is how quality built it is, and la la la, and, you know, maybe the handles will last because maybe that is a good system that they have for the bolt-on system with the washers and the bushings. Maybe that is a good thing. But they probably had to do that to avoid maybe some future issues with this thing. But still, either way, it's aluminum handles. It doesn't matter. You're spinning and flipping. Something's going to have to give somewhere eventually. So I'm kind of, I really don't see the money there for value, okay? 37 people have bought this. It's a 4.5 star. But then again, how many of those are bots? You know, I mean, that's pretty expensive. Now, I would definitely say don't go anywhere near this plastic garbage. I mean, $37 for a set of two that are plastic. And it looks like they got some kind of a weight in here or something. They got to have some kind of a weight. They probably don't even flip where the snot, but I'm not going to waste my money to find out. Okay, handle matched with copper washer, integral channel handle practicing training tool. Yeah, I'm just not feeling it. I mean, it's just stupid. And the amount of money for plastic? Come on, seriously. Anyways, it is what it is. If you want to waste your money and burn it, go right ahead. I'd rather spend 36 bucks and get actually even a pack of 3 plus 1 maybe, or, you know, pack of 3 and save money. And, you know, you can get sets of 3. And this is a neat set of 3 here, too, because you get a really good quality one here in the middle, and with a spring-loaded lock latch that's all steel construction tool. And then you get, of course, these 2 here with crappy latches. They kind of just, the Spider-Man thing looks kind of cool for the theme there. 20 bucks. I mean, that's not bad, you know. So you get 1 really good one and 2, you know. But anyway, there's a lot of options up here, guys. A lot of options, okay. They even have a pen. This is kind of cute. a heavy-duty pen. It's like, okay, now we've kind of seen it all. Now they're giving us flipping pens, because if we're bored at work, we can just flip our pen instead of our trainer type thing, which would freak people out in the office. Well, they're not going to be freaked out by a pen. And some of your coworkers will probably think, well, that's really cool, man. Where'd you get that? Oh, you know, $23 friggin' later. Anyway, and there is some fantasy stuff for these too, like if you're into like cosplay kind of styles, they've got that sort of garbage, right? Well, I call it that, but no offense to anybody that likes that stuff. This is kind of cool. I like this, and it comes in a really nice case as well. It's like, ooh, for 29 bucks, I might even buy that, because, you know, I hate spiders in real life, but for something like this, I kind of think that's kind of neat. And it does have the crummy latch on it, but still, it's not something I'm going to flip very often. It's going to be more like a show and tell kind of piece, right? More for show than anything. But I'd still flip that a few times here and there, you know. But I think that's actually not a cool thing. It's a pretty cool thing. So I like that. That's neat. I think I'm going to have to buy one eventually. The all plastic carrot flipper. Again, don't buy this garbage. For 13 bucks, I mean, seriously, you can get a better flipper for less. Okay, like even this thing for $9 with a crappy latch is still 200,000 times better than this piece of plastic stuff. Anyways, but there are a lot of choices here, and they have karambit trainers and real karambits. I did look into karambits, by the way. Karambits are perfectly legal in Canada, so guess what Kevy's got on his wish list? Yes, a really nice set of karambits for real ones and a set of trainers. And I'm going to use the trainers first and learn how to flip them because, yeah, they're kind of cool. Anybody who's watched the show Lucifer on Netflix, Mazikeen, she is so awesome with karambits. And it's like, I kind of like that. That's kind of neat. So yeah, I'm going to get a couple of those. They're kind of neato. But they got an all gold one here too. This is a really well built one as well. Comes with a tool to tighten up your screws if you have an issue. Really nice cases. Ooh, that's pretty cool, eh? Anyways, yeah, 16 bucks. That's a pretty good little deal. We'll have to find out though. Spoon and fork flippers, you know, and the bottle openers too, right? I would like to see like this one here. This is kind of a funny one. It's got a plastic blade on it. But I'd like to see this with the the fork and spoon, because that would make a nice butter knife. You know what I mean? It's not dangerous, you know, because it's like no sharp edges. But I like to see them do a set with this all in steel, right? But with this kind of a blade, so you got a butter knife. So it'd be the perfect camping set. You know what I mean? So you got the fork, you'd have the spoon, and then you'd have the butter knife, you know. But anyways, whatever. Maybe you just buy the plastic one, and hopefully your butter is soft and not hard as a rock, and because otherwise you'll break that thing. Plastic blades, come on, geez. Here's a 3-piece set. This is kind of nice. All good latch lock systems, all steel construction, looking pretty good. And you get a 3-piece set here for $21.99. How can you go wrong? Well, if you get some defects, you might. But let's see what the reviewers said. We got 2. Okay. One made a comment. Great, but they loosen up. Duh. Okay. They're supposed to get loose as you use them, but they shouldn't get like massively loose, right? Anything brand new has some tightness to it, right? A lot of times, right? So they're going to have to break in either way, and they will get loose, yes. And things do get looser with use and time, and you know, if the screws do come loose, tighten up the bloody screws. I mean, how hard is it? Now, if you do have the hidden pin design where there are no screws, those things are usually really good, from what I've seen. And you know, it could take you years of flipping before those pins even start to protrude out of the handles from the wear and tear and excessive forces of flipping back and forth kind of thing. It's kind of like, you know, bending a piece of metal. You know, you keep bend, you make that section weaker. Well, you know, eventually that's what happens to anything, right? But pins can be replaced with screws. You might have to modify your handles and get a screw and bushing kit. Maybe years down the road, or maybe who even cares? It's 20 bucks if you get like 5 or 6 years, and you know, maybe then it dies and you've played with the thing every day for 5 or 6 years, I'm pretty sure you got your $20 worth, because if you didn't, there's a problem. Okay, but yeah, you can get defects too, and just keep in mind, Amazon does have that return or refund policy within X amount of time, so read the ads carefully for each item, because some of them may be different with different sellers. Okay, some sellers offer you a 1 year, some will offer you less, obviously. Okay, but anyhow, then you got these ones that are actually functional tools, as well as pretty cool flippers, and they call this a cyborg model for 39 bucks. They even have a CSGO one up here too. I was like, come on, seriously? Now, you know, this I came across, I'm like, okay, now I've seen it all. Okay, I'm okay with this in a comb, because switchblade combs, they're freaking cool. Even I have a switchblade comb. It's a piece of junk, but it still works, right? But this I saw, and I'm like, all right, now I've seen it all. They got a fork. I wonder if they have a spoon kicking around somewhere. I don't think we're going to spend that much time on here, but 304 stainless steel. Okay, so at least it's food grade, so you can eat with the thing. Pretty cool. I'm in a hurry to eat. Hit the button. Poof, all right, I'm ready. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that's the theme behind that one. Okay, but I like to see that in a spoon as well. That'd be kind of cool. Anyhow, so then of course we got our bottle openers. Now these bottle openers, you can find them a lot cheaper than 32 bucks. You know, and for 32 bucks, given the poor quality latching system, I ain't gonna pay 32 bucks for that, so don't expect to see that on the channel. 31 bucks, still, we got a pretty crummy latch. Anyways, we got the single fork by itself too for 23 bucks. That's kind of really, you know, like dumb for the price for a fork, right? It's like you can get a setup here for, what do we find them? 15 bucks. And they're going to be just as good as this thing down here, more than likely. You know, and even if this is a bit better quality, who cares? Like, I'd rather spend the less. And here's another set here, 2-piece. Fork and spoon. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Nice. Oh, and look at that. Real latches, too. That's a quality set. I am so in on that. And they're gold. I love that. I'm going to have to keep that in mind, because I'm going to have to order myself a set. But they got a few other finishes too. You know, I'm going to go gold though. That's cool. Anyways, take my cutlery with me on the go. But yeah, there are a lot of choices up here, guys. So just be aware, things are made out of, you know, poor quality materials like fiberglasses, plastics, aluminum in them. You want to try and avoid those if you possibly can. No latching system at all, I think, is kind of dumb. There should be a latching system, because there are tricks you can do with a butterfly, or in this case a balisong, politically correct. Okay, you where it's locked, you squeeze the handle, it pops the lock open, you start flipping, and if you know how to do it right, and I still have not mastered that trick, but you can actually unlock, flip, and relock in basically a couple of motions, right? You can't do that if you don't have a lock latch, right? And why would you not have a lock latch on a balisong? I don't get it. But it's also, in my opinion, you shouldn't be using those materials to build one of these things. They should be built with a lot more quality in mind. And to me, it looks pretty, but pretty is not durable. Does not equate to durable always. Okay, you do want something that looks nice, but you also want the quality in there too. So, you know, and you know, you could say, well, what do you expect? You're gonna get cheap. That's not cheap though. That's $88, guys. Okay, that's not cheap. I can buy cheaper and get better. You know what I mean? Like, I can spend less and get more in this. And this is a functional comb too for 20 bucks. Okay, so this is better, and it's gonna last longer. The pins will last longer. Okay. I won't have to worry about having to tighten pins either, because that's actually pressed in pins. You know, there's this one too, 39 bucks. Again, this is like plastic crap. Like, we don't want plastic. It's a ripoff for the price, right? It's probably why they don't sell any of them. And they got bots on there going, oh, look at that, it's a 5-star 1 review. And you read it and there's nothing to read. Anyway, that's what I got for you on this thing. But stay tuned to the channel, guys, because this coming week, I've got 4 new trainers coming in and 1 other little toy that I ordered. And I'm going to be ordering more trainers as I can afford to. We'll just keep looking at several models of these see what they're really like. Because, you know, even I have been at times wrong about certain things, because I can't actually say on every single one of these that has this exact latch system, this is going to be bad. I can't actually say that 100%, because I may get surprised with, hey, maybe this one's steel. Maybe it is built okay, but I still do and will hold an issue that if there's not a spring mechanism in there to hold that latch out of the way, that is going to still remain a problem either way. Okay, and it looks like they're trying to fake a Benchmade here. Yeah, it looks like they might be. Maybe we'll have to buy this one and check, because I just saw that. Yeah, it says Benchmade. Now, this is one of those times where you can actually tell me that that's a fake Benchmade, and I'll likely believe you. Because the one I have that says Benchmade that's really high quality, I kind of argued with people on that. But you know what? In the end, I really could care less. But I can see just on the close-up here of the latch, this is definitely still a poor latch. And I am darn sure that Benchmade would not put out something this crappy. Okay, so it's definitely going to be a fake out. But is it any good? Even though it's got the latch system I don't like, is it going to be any good? That's the big question. And we may have to find out if we should answer that or not. It is 15 bucks. We will see what I end up ordering down the road. Because that also looks like it's just paint on there. It's not an actual proper finish. So we'll have to look more in depth at a later date. So like I said, stay tuned to the channel for a lot of stuff on this. We're going to dive in deep to a lot of these trainers. So anyway, and I still got to have that gold. I got to have this in gold. That looks, and that's so well built, and it's got the really good latch locks. Nice. Really liking that. That looks good. I got to buy a set. Anyway, that's all I got for you on this one. So thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one, okay? See ya.